we go.
The WCBM studios are brought to you by...
This is the second hour of power.
Call Rob Verroe, 410-266-1120. SafeRetirementSolutions.com.
The views and opinions you hear on Talk Radio 680, WCBM, and WCBM.com are not necessarily those of the owners, management, employers, and advertisers of WCBM. But they should be.
The Pat McDonough Show is brought to you by Super Citizen.
To Super Citizen Radio, I'm Pat McDonough, along with Valerie McDonough, and our special guest, Baltimore County Council member Todd Crandall from the 7th District,
in West Virginia. She can watch the
doing
show,
something
right?
very
Yeah,
important.
what you got to do?
Very important.
Go on my page.
And
Go on my
it's not
page.
easy to have 6 of your
Go on my
colleagues
page.
Yeah.
Ron Savage
moving in a
Show.
different direction, and you were
that's
actually
okay,
the
I'll
one
tell
with the
her.
courage to be right. I got to
Yeah.
salute you for that, Todd.
Well,
Just
thank you,
highlight the
Pat.
www when you're on my page and send it to
I'm not the lone no vote for
Why don't you come here and show me what you
accolades
have to do,
or
do it for me.
and I didn't want to be
Okay,
a
I'm
county
running the
councilman
show.
so I could be the
Get it
lone
right.
vote on this and a couple other issues.
I got to go on her or tell her.
I ran because I thought
Go on
there
my
was an
Facebook page.
opportunity
Okay, gotcha.
for
Gotcha.
economic development revitalization mostly in my district.
Which has happened.
And it
Trade
has,
Point,
Trade
Atlantic.
Point Atlantic is a huge part of
Amazing,
that. So I certainly didn't expect COVID, and I didn't expect Baltimore County to be veering so far left, totally beyond what my constituents find acceptable. So you go back to the economic development that's occurring in the district. I mean, billions of dollars have flowed into the 7th District. I'm not taking credit for all of them, but I played my role, and I'm really proud of that work. But if we allow things to work to the detriment of our community, like this police reform bill will,
It's huge.
then all of those efforts
this is
are lost
Yeah.
because people aren't going to want to place a business in the 7th District or elsewhere in Baltimore County if we keep using the term, but if we keep descending into lawlessness. So I'm extremely concerned about it, which is why I oppose the bill, one of the reasons I oppose the bill. I just think it works to the detriment of our community. And I had the opportunity, being the councilman for the past 6.5 years or so, that to talk to a lot of police officers and hear their stories. And these are things that aren't reported in the media. I was talking with an officer who told me that he thanks God every day that he didn't take the shot at someone that was committing a crime, and he was working to apprehend them. The subject had a cell phone, and he didn't take the shot. He's just thankful that he saw that it was a cell phone. He was able to take care of the matter another way. We don't hear about incidents like that where the police do things that most of us as ordinary citizens aren't capable of doing. I was telling Valerie during the break that I know of a police officer whose husband is also in law enforcement. She was called to a particular residence in my district numerous times. The parents of a young child were addicts and unable to take care of the child. And after a couple times of taking the child to child services while they dealt with the parents, whatever their situation was, this officer and her husband adopted the child and are raising that child as their own. This is what our Baltimore County Police Department does. And again, nobody talks about that, which I find a real shame. It's not news, but these are real human beings that have devoted themselves to public safety, and I don't think that they deserve the scrutiny that other police departments and other cops should, because they do something wrong on the job, because for the most part our people aren't doing it. And I don't think they get enough credit for what they actually they do. And just on a community level, every single precinct in Baltimore County has a police community relations council, which the commander of that precinct, the captain of that precinct runs those meetings. They have a citizen board that's part of that council. Anybody from the community is welcome to come in and sit on those meetings and express themselves, challenges in their neighborhood, crime statistics, whatever they want to discuss. So the police are involved in the community there. And then I think we probably have, it varies based on the activity of an association, but our district has probably 25 to 30 community associations in different groups that meet on a regular basis. Each one of them has a community outreach officer, who's a sworn police officer in uniform that goes to every single meeting, every single month. And I think that, I'm pretty sure that happens throughout Baltimore County, where outreach officers from every precinct involve themselves in the community. And they're available, they're part of the community. A lot of these officers, I think, give their personal cell phones to the community leader to just be available to that community leader should the leader need information or want something or want to get some information to the police department quickly. So this is a good agency that, as I said in the Eagle article, this should be honored, not insulted.
It should be honored, it should be encouraged, it should be strengthened.
Oh, is there?
Another thing, there is no justice. There's two problems here. Number one, there's no justification for doing any of this stuff because there is no record here. There is no need. There are no incidents. Julian Jones and Johnny Olszewski want to be big heroes on the radical left, on the Democrat left, which is anti-cop, defund cop, defame cops, and all of a sudden now Baltimore County is going to be Portland, and we're going to have the toughest laws for New York City, and it's not necessary.
Well, God forbid, because it's. I've had constituents say, Todd, I'm living right, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing in terms of keeping my property up, paying my taxes, raising my kids, supporting Baltimore County schools. Why do the criminals have all the rights? And I told you I had a couple anecdotes for you. One, I know of a situation where an individual was charged with 8 counts of, I don't know the exact charge, but it was he was breaking into people's cars. He had 8 counts. They got him that day in one precinct. He was let out that day, went over to another precinct's area, and committed the same crime. I think another eight or so times. And don't quote me on that number, but it was multiple offenses again of the same crime. Again, let out that same day. Then we had another one, and this one breaks my heart. Had someone convicted of second-degree murder, I believe in Baltimore City. Stabbed someone. I don't know the details of that case, but he served 4 years and was let out. And then he went to came to Baltimore County, and he raped an 11-year-old girl on the campus of a Baltimore County school. And it, like I said, it completely
it
breaks.
happens all the time.
And it breaks my heart that it does. So
and it's getting more frequent. But here's the deal. First of all, there's no justification or need or incidence record to justify what Julian Jones and Johnny Olszewski are imposing upon this police department and the people of this county. The second thing is there's no reason to criminalize it. Some of the things that they're doing that maybe make some sense, like better training, better record keeping, getting rid of some rotten apples if they are there, that can be done by not criminalizing.
The Osmond Brothers sang a song called "One Bad Apple Don't Make a Whole Bunch Girl."
That can be done there. So there's 2 reasons not to do it. The third reason is the litigation that's going to be coming. It's not only the criminal charges against police officers. Every person who is arrested is now going to file a lawsuit. I can tell you, I've talked with their lawyers. If they were not constitutional patriots, they would be out there suing everybody because they know how to sue. But I can tell you that's what's going to happen in this county.
Well,
Now,
and you're. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're right, because if as you read through the bill, there's so much room for interpretation in it.
of course,
There's a lot of leeway for somebody, a crafty lawyer, to make a case against a well-meaning police officer.
very generic.
Very.
It's very wide open. And all you need to do is file a lawsuit. The police don't want to go through the problem, and you get your $5,000, your $10,000, your $50,000, and that's taxpayers' money. Okay, and that's going to be all over the place. There's going to be lawsuit heaven in Baltimore County with this bill. Does Julian Jones care? No. Does Johnny Olszewski care? Now, this is my opinion. No, they don't care. They want to be heroes to not the black community, because the black community wants law and order. The black community wants public safety. The black community wants safe neighborhoods. That's why they moved to Baltimore County, okay? Here's the problem. They want to be heroes to the radicals. They want to be heroes to Black Lives Matter. Johnny Olszewski, he wants to run for re-election and get elected as county executive again, or more importantly, let's tell the truth. He wants to run for governor, and he can't become governor because he's from the Baltimore area, and in this state, all the votes in the Democrat primary are over in the D.C. suburbs, unless he can get a majority of the black vote. He wants to become a hero to the black community that he thinks they want that. They don't want it. They don't want it. We know that for a fact. And we have a growing number of women in our police department. We have a growing number of minorities in our police department.
2 minutes.
And basically,
Hey, what's going on?
there is no need for this. But I can't believe that the whole council, with the exception of you, that two Republicans, David Marks and Wade Cash, went along with this. Why they would go along with this, God knows. I don't know. But the Republican people, there's 120,000 Republicans in Baltimore County, and I doubt if one of them supports this. There are ways to do this. There are justifications for doing certain things. You do not criminalize your police department. And basically, that's what they've done.
Especially a police department with the record that they have. In all of those arrests that I cited, only 1.1% of those arrests involve use of force, and almost never in the 10-year time period, almost never was a firearm used. I have data here that shows that officers were involved in combat shootings 60 times from 2019 back to 2010. 60 times shootings in a county with
a growing
population and about 830,000 people right now.
Now, this is in the Wall Street Journal. I want to read this. Qualified immunity. They're griping about qualified immunity. When you take this away from a police officer, number one, they're wide open. It's like taking the helmets off the firefighters. And they can be sued, and they're going to be sued. Now, this is going to come not in Baltimore County. It's coming in the next session of the General Assembly. It is coming. This is the controversial doctrine that protects officers and other government employees from civil liability when their actions violate a right that was not at the time clearly established, say by another case or a similar fact. Many have argued that the doctrine undermines police accountability and encourages bad behavior. Now listen to this. But it isn't successfully involved that often. A 2017 study published by the Yale Law Journal analyzed nearly 1,000 cases in which the defense of qualified immunity could be asserted. In those cases, only 3.9% of them were dismissed on immunity grounds. So out of 1,000 cases, only 3.9% of the police officers were found to be guilty. A database of lawsuits filed against police in New York City shows that of 2,880 documented cases on this basis where there was a suit filed, 74 were resolved in favor of the defendant. Only 74 were found guilty. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Dr. Alexander Dix. I am the clinical director and licensed pharmacist for KIP Dispensary. At KIP, we understand that all of our patients are different. So we take the time to focus on their specific needs, wants, and aspirations when it comes to their cannabis therapy. We also provide personalized education with our free consultations if our patients desire it. At KIP, you can find hefty discounts for older adults over the age of 55, as well as the most generous veterans discount in the state at 25% off. To visit KIP, you can find us at 9 Cranbrook Road in Cockeysville, Maryland, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at KIP Maryland. This is Dr. Dix, and I thank you again for tuning in today.
At KIP, they're all about the power of knowledge. When it comes to cannabis, they know a greater collective understanding of the plant will lead to happier, healthier patients. Stop in today and see what KIP can do for you.
You hear that? It's your dishwasher that's covered by American Home Shield, which you've loaded perfectly, humming away as you kick back on the couch. A perfect harmony. Keep that everything in its place.
Here's another one, guys.
Home Shield.
Johnny D, man. Good buddy.
Peace of mind, knowing your budget.
Go check this out. Johnny D's Lounge right now at 1705 Amuska Road, Muskai. It's in Parkville, Maryland, 21224. Call them up at 410-665-7000. That's 410-665-7000. Johnny D's Lounge. They do parties, caterings. They have a hall. It's wonderful. It's very family-oriented. Go check them out. Ask for Johnny. Tell him Ron Savage sent you. 410-665-7000.
Ready? It's ahs.com/680. Join American Home Shield today for $50 off any plan. Then, get back to the soothing sounds of your home and the confidence of coverage. Service fees, limitations, and exclusions apply. See plan for details.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right. Level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Hate America, hate American history, hate the American Constitution and the Declaration.
There are many like you.
Hate the American people. The American people are racist.
There can only be one.
America sucks, so elect us, the Democrats, and we'll fix everything, you know.
Mark Levin.
If we have the major cities, and Cuomo did New York during the virus, and Murphy did New Jersey during the virus, and Pritzker and Newsom, yeah, turn it all over to them. That'll fix it.
Don't miss the great one. Weeknights at 10 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Todd Crandall, Councilman Crandall is with us. We're talking about the anti-cop bill put out by Johnny Olszewski and Julian Jones. And, oh, God. Thank you, Todd, for not doing it. But is Claude still on the line?
Let me see.
We'll take a call.
Claude, you still there? All right, hold on.
Yeah, let's take a call. This is from Claude, who is in Dundalk. So, Claude, good evening.
Look, I was in law enforcement for years, and I'm going to get something straight right now. Baltimore City Police, Housing Authority Police, was never taught a choke hold. Never. We would use grappling tactics, which is common ground control techniques, arm bars, wrist locks, whatever, to take you to the ground, put your knee in your back. Never put your knee on the neck. Never choke somebody out. We were taught to use the S-band too to hit them in the solar plexus, which takes the wind out of you, so you're going to go down. And then we handcuff them. But nobody ever was taught to be violent. Now, when I was a kid, I grew up around police. And if I thought the police were violent people, I would have never joined to be an officer. And I appreciate what this man is doing, but these people don't realize what they're doing to our police officers. Because there's an old
They don't care, Claude. They don't care.
there's an old saying that the Los Angeles City Police Chief said, we're always going to have these kind of problems. And what that meant was that we create these police officers from the human race. That's where we recruit them. So we're always going to have these kind of problems because, there's just people are human. And humans make errors. But, not all police are bad. I had a good experience with Baltimore County. When my phone got stolen, these guys went right to the man's house and showed me how to get there to get the phone. They were great.
Yeah, I've never really had a bad experience in relationship to Baltimore County Police. I am involved in a lawsuit in relationship to Johnny Olszewski and his abuse and misuse of the Baltimore County Police, which I think is going to be very interesting. But anyway, thank you, Claude. But hey, let me read this one to you, Todd, okay? This was in the Baltimore Sun. That other article was in the Wall Street Journal. In 2019, the Baltimore County Police arrested 21,680
How y'all doing? This is Saturday Night Live, man. Saturday Night Live.
More than 2,000 of those arrested were for murder, rape, robbery, or serious assault. The arresting officer was assaulted by the defendants 330 times out of 2,000. A chokehold is a valid tool when used properly and only in cases where the officer or another person is in danger from the defendant. I have worked in the past 47 years as a public defender, an investigator, a pretrial release investigator, a drug counselor, a court liaison, and for 27 years as a district court commissioner. I have always been impressed with the Baltimore County Police and the performance of their duties. They are men and women of all races who put on the badge and leave home, putting their lives in the line to protect the rest of us.
Well, I thank the writer of that piece, and I want to thank our caller. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this when in the first hour that Baltimore County Police are not taught chokeholds at the academy. Just as this gentleman said in his career, he was not taught those measures either. So. So it's good that there are people that recognize the value of our police, the value of empowering our police instead of hamstringing them to do their jobs. I want to tell you about it, and in full disclosure, I don't get any royalties on this. But I'm going to tell you about a book and encourage your listeners to take a look. It's not a very expensive book. It can be purchased online, and it's called The Courageous Police Leader. Subtitled Survival Guide for Combating Cowards, Chaos, and Lies. And it's by a career officer, I forget what jurisdiction, I think he's somewhere in the Midwest. It's by Major Travis Yates. And it talks about media manipulation of facts.
Media would manipulate something?
I think they would, Pat, yes. I know you look like you're in complete shock. Media manipulation, and then the capitulation and attackment by politicians who should be standing up for law and order and not kowtowing to that media manipulation. Chokeholds is a perfect example. What happened in Minneapolis should not have happened. That officer, I think everyone would agree, and I've talked to law enforcement officers who've seen the video, that that officer was wrong and committed murder. But that's not what happens here in Baltimore County, because chokeholds aren't part of the training, and the media manipulation of the fact that this doesn't occur all the time, all over Baltimore County or even in the country, leads to bills like the one that we're discussing tonight and that the council will be considering later in the month.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact of the matter is there is no justification, there are no incidents, there is no track record to indicate that this police department is doing anything inappropriate at this time in dealing with the public, number one. Number two, all of this can be solved through simply training, proper transparency, proper disclosure. And number three, it's going to make things much worse, not only for the police, or for our communities, which, as you pointed out earlier, Todd, has a much broader implication and consequence for Baltimore County, which, like every other place
Yes, sir.
in America, at times is struggling. You take Trade Point Atlantic. Now, we had onto this show, what was his name?
Aaron Tamarkian.
Aaron Tamarkia, who we all know, and Aaron is the main guy down there at Trade Point Atlantic. And Trade Point Atlantic has been a tremendous success. And of course, it's in your district, but the people that have the jobs come from everywhere. Now, Aaron pointed out that it's only halfway home. It still has there is a lot more opportunity.
Halfway.
10,000 jobs are down there now. There's an opportunity for another 10,000 jobs.
I heard
and
word
maybe
half-
even more. So there's still growth there.
Where have I heard the word halfway around?
Up where I live.
Yeah.
Route 43. And,
Is that a name of an establishment? Wait a minute.
There's other places
I know.
where there's opportunities.
Dick's halfway
But
in.
if we start becoming
Do you know another
Baltimore
one?
City, a clone of Baltimore City,
I sure do, because we're talking about.
I told my old lady
and
I'd
a
go to the
police
movie.
department that is considered the enemy and is under
But he's the
attack.
star of it.
That's a whole new ballgame. That's a whole new
I'm the
Baltimore
stunt
County.
man.
Johnny Olszewski. Johnny Olszewski is a Bernie Sanders. He is a radical left Democrat. He's not an old-fashioned Baltimore County Democrat, even though he was born here. He's a radical left Democrat. Julian Jones is a radical left Democrat, even though I think he's pretty much a Baltimore County guy. But they are advocating and promoting agendas and policies that have been a big failure not only in Baltimore City, but around the country in big Democrat cities. And we see it all the time. And now we're seeing it in Baltimore County. And here's the problem, Todd. This is the real flaw in Baltimore County. Two things. Number one, the citizens of Baltimore County don't know what's happening. They have no idea. Now, when this bill passes, they're going to get an idea. Number two, they're passive. They're sheep. They're not doing anything about it. I mean, for me, unbelievable that David Martz, and I'm not asking you to comment on this, they're your colleagues, but they are Republicans, and Wade Catch support this pathetic nonsense, and that their Republican and Democrat conservative, common sense, patriotic constituents are going to put up with this. Now, I know Wade's not running again, so I don't know what the angle is there. Marx is definitely running again, and there's going to be redistricting. And I know you guys, there's only 7 of you. I mean, it's not like the General Asylum where I had to sit down with 141 knuckleheads.
General
But,
Asylum.
You 7 guys, and Kathy Bevins. So you work together a lot. I mean, you're together a lot.
Yeah.
You get an opportunity to get to know one another. You get an opportunity to work on certain things and protect your constituents in your districts. It's a different ball game, a different set of political dynamics compared to the General Assembly. But the county executive, in my opinion, is taking this county in a very, very dangerous direction. And I don't
Very
know if it can be
dangerous
stopped.
direction.
If you can get Marx and you can get a Catch to vote in favor of a bill like this bill, I mean, we're just talking about it here tonight. First time
Hello.
anybody has ever heard. I'm kind of sure, maybe in a way, it's the first time Catch or Marx has ever heard these opinions.
Is
these
that
other
nice lady
viewpoints.
watching now, or
Maybe
what?
they haven't even heard that.
I called
They
her,
just
and
heard
guess
the
what?
BS thrown
She
at them
disappeared. She
by
had
Johnny
people and
Olszewski.
Oh, I hate when that
To
happens.
some degree.
Well,
But
it's
What about a
for them
message?
to even go inside with this, to me, you talk about the
I didn't realize
canary in the
could
coal
really-
mine.
she wanted to talk to me.
To see those two guys move in that direction.
I'm at a radio show right now.
Well,
I'm at a radio show right now.
Express their reasoning and
And they're
motivations.
certainly more than welcome to
And
be
you tell her
here.
she wants to come up
Well,
with a guest
and,
with you.
and that's fine.
She might be a special.
You mentioned training, accountability, transparency. Those are important things for any police agency. And I would submit that we already have those things. In fact, we already do have those things. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the data that shows us
The data is
what a fantastic agency that we have. So,
I copied this over my page,
the
right?
Baltimore County has been recognized nationally for how good the police department is.
confusing.
So
Yeah.
and these things, training
What
and,
else
and
is
accountability,
it?
hiring the right people, transparency. As I mentioned a while ago, these things are already being done. Some of them were encompassed in the county executive's executive order in June. So we go back a little while. I introduced legislation to require the Baltimore County Department of Corrections to cooperate with Immigration and Customs Enforcement in a program called the federal program called 287G, and that would build the relationship between the Department of Corrections and ICE. It can get rather detailed, and for the sake of time, I won't go into it. But the Department of Corrections apparently told the council, well, we're already doing that. I believe I was the only county council member that actually met with ICE officials from from ICE's district office, and their account of what goes on with the Department of Corrections and the relationship completely different from the Department of Corrections. And this wasn't under County Executive Olszewski. This was under Kevin Cannon.
You got what?
Legislation was tabled by the council, and I believe it was a 5-2 vote to table the legislation. So there was no vote on it. And one of the reasons was because the county's already doing it. Even though they weren't, the claim was that the Department of Corrections were already doing it.
Wow.
So if we're already doing it, why do we need this bill? If we're doing 80% of what this bill calls for, the police reform bill, then I don't know. I find there's
we're criminalizing.
I just find there's an inconsistency in that thinking. So
2 minutes.
Here was a bill that I proposed that would have assisted our police department and our judicial branch with removing people that don't belong in this country, that are coming here to commit crime.
And since we've just
from
had
our
6
community.
MS-13
gangbangers
indicted for murdering that little girl.
I was just going to bring that up. We've had more incidents of alleged activity of MS-13, and so the long and the short of it is, do we care about the safety of our citizens?
No, we do not.
Or not?
No.
Well, I strongly disagree with that, and which is the reason that I'm in opposition to this bill, and I had a constituent
Jesus Christ.
make me a face mask. And it has "We the People" in the script that we're all used to seeing on across the bridge, and then it has 6-1 underneath of it, and the 6 is stars and stripes, and the 1 is the 1 is in stars and stripes, and the 6 is in black, and it was just dropped
5 minutes break after
anonymously after anonymously at my house.
I don't think there's cigarettes for smoking though, hon. I gotta check that out.
And this isn't about me, but this is about the fact that we are going to have to stand up for law and order in this county, because again of that, as you mentioned, as this veering left and trying to satisfy
this is true though.
social movements that are manipulating data, manipulating incidents, and allowing the media to manipulate the facts.
Yep.
To the point where there's so much public pressure in order to do something like this, which to me doesn't make any sense, which is why I'm here tonight.
Well, when we come back after this break, you hit right on the head. And the fact of the matter is that
We'll do that
the left, you can call it whatever you want, fascism, communism, socialism, progressivism,
assholes. No.
throughout history have clearly
FCC.
been opposed to the rule of law. They believe in chaos and anarchy. They do not believe in the rule of law because they believe they can succeed politically with their agenda if there is no rule of law. And that is what is happening in this country, all over the country. That is what is happening in Baltimore County. It has come to Baltimore County. There is no justification. There is no need for it, but it is now here. They are going to stand down our protective shield in Baltimore County by making it difficult for the police to defend and protect us. Same thing, Todd, that you were talking about with ICE and the illegal immigrants. Kevin Kamenetz, who I considered a liberal, not a radical leftist like Johnny O. There is a difference. But Kevin Kamenetz issued an executive order and put it in writing that this would be a sanctuary county. Johnny reinforced that when he became county executive. But all across the country, everywhere you look, George Soros, the most radical left hate America billionaire in the world, spent $25 million 2 years in a row to elect state's attorneys and prosecutors all over the country, including the one in St. Louis that prosecuted those two people who were exercising their Second Amendment rights in front of their home when the mob was marching by. The same prosecutor he elected up in Chicago.
That's a different mountain.
Pardon me. Where that movie actor was let off the hook, and now the U.S. attorney is investigating and going after that. Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore City received support financially from George Soros.
Whoa.
Philadelphia's prosecutor who said that we should not take video of violence in the streets because it makes us look bad.
Okay.
These radical leftists do not believe in the rule of law.
Not at all.
And they are smart enough to spend money like Soros on electing prosecutors.
I think they're all dirty bastards.
Watch what happens in Baltimore County in a couple of years. Schellenberger isn't going to last forever. George Soros will come in here, and others, not all have to be Soros, and they will run a state's attorney along with a handcuffed police department. And guess what? Baltimore City, welcome to Baltimore County.
Oh, man. Wow. It's excellent. This is for further notes.
Canadian high pressure continues to build in from the Great Lakes into the Northeast and then through the Mid-Atlantic through the weekend, bringing along plenty of sunshine, but also some very chilly temperatures in the mid-50s. We're headed back to the low to mid-40s under clear skies. A nice wrap to the weekend as we get up into the mid to upper 60s with sunshine. Clear skies, mid-40s Sunday night, and then we'll bring in the sunshine for Monday and head up to the mid to upper 60s. Jeff Eno for the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Are you always apologizing for your dog's behavior? Need help communicating? At K9 Concepts, we can solve your problems. The answer to your problems is a phone call away. Call 410-477-2000 for a free demo evaluation. Call 410-477-2000. Obedience, protection, handicapped assistance, boarding, grooming, puppy preschool. Visit K9Concepts.com. The best for your dog. Call 410-477-2000.
Hi, I'm Andy Palladino. I am a CPA and a financial advisor with Palladino Financial Group. Today, should you be thinking about your finances, your savings differently? Consider this question. Which would you rather receive, $1 million today or 1 penny every day for the next 30 days, with that penny being doubled each day? With the penny, it takes until day 28 to break $1 million. But by day 30, $5.3 million. The power of unlimited compounding. But what if the money was taxed? If we add in just a 15% tax rate, at 30 days, instead of having $5.3 million, we only have about $560,000. Let's explore your opportunities together, as I like to say, to get your money away from Wall Street to your street and away from the White House to your house. Call or visit our website for a free, no-obligation consultation, 410-252-7630, 410-252-7630, or PalladinoFinancialGroup.com, Paladino, Financial Group, all one word, .com. Let's talk about why money matters to you and your family and how I can help you plan before you invest and get the confidence and clarity to your overall financial retirement plan. 410-252-7630 or PaladinoFinancialGroup.com for your personal financial guidance.
Andy Palladino is an investment advisor representative of, and securities and advisory services are offered through USA Financial Securities Corp. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Listen Sundays at 9 a.m. for Radio Mass of Baltimore, the live liturgy of the Sunday Mass from St. Ignatius Church in downtown Baltimore. And again at 6 p.m. for a rebroadcast. Following the Mass, stay tuned for a message from the Archdiocese of Baltimore on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
When your vehicle needs help, Jeff's Automotive Services is the place to go. Your vehicle will be worked on by Automotive Service ASE certified technicians. Jeff services all vehicles, including cars, SUVs, trucks, both medium and light duty, and there are always specials available at Jeff's Automotive Services. Just call 410-682-5700. Jeff's Automotive Services is locally owned and conveniently located in the heart of Essex at 313 Mace Avenue. Jeff's is the winner of the Best Automotive Service Award for 2019 by the Avenue Newspaper's Readers Poll. Jeff's offers 10% discounts to all seniors and active military members and would like
We
to
didn't get 'em
thank
all out there.
military members for their service. Jeff's Automotive
They are,
Services
they
has
are.
a
I
name
mean,
you can trust.
pinch, man.
Remember, call 410-682-5700 for Jeff's
I
Automotive
just say
Services.
it's all scratch stuff, you know, I use it for everything. I use it for
Are you paying too much for term life insurance?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a tremendous price war among the major term life
What
companies.
kind of charger do you have for your phone? Do you have
Years.
the kind that only goes one way, or you got the one that flips?
$1 million of coverage.
You know what I'm talking about? Mine goes in
$75 per
either
month
way.
level rate for the next 2
But then,
years.
but then most of the old ones, they just go in one way.
$500,000 of coverage for a
One
monthly
little
premium of only
None.
$110 per month.
No, see,
Guaranteed not to change
that's
for
the
the
kind
next
that goes
20
in only
years.
one way.
That's right. Level rate,
Yeah.
guaranteed
Gotta
not
go
to
in one.
change
You
for the
can't-
next 20
see,
years.
this-
If you're a smoker, we have
Okay,
great rates
you
available
put
for
the
you as
charger in,
well.
and you
At
put it this way
Turnbusters,
or
we
that way.
specialize in policies of $500,000
This has gotta be
and
one
above.
way.
If
Oh,
you're
okay.
looking for
You know
new
what
or
I'm saying?
replacement term
It's
life
got a
insurance,
shape that
call
looks
today
like-
for a quote at
like it's the other hand.
1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440.
No, I'm right. I'm not dead
You're
yet.
probably paying more than you
I'm
should.
just wondering.
Call Turnbusters.
I got my cord out of the car. You know?
Oh, you got the cord. Good.
Oh yeah, I got the cord out of the car. I mean, I'm not dead. I'm
At
going
least you
in.
knew you got that.
You know, that's good.
Simple rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting.
Thank you, yeah, I appreciate that. I really, I think it's cool to have.
It's very cool. Do a commercial.
If what you zone
Uh-oh.
out or change
Do a commercial.
the station, just listen to when caught early.
Now we're gonna. Now Notes is gonna do the commercial about easy readers. Easy readers for everybody who sometimes if you're drinking or something and you wake up and man, I can't see straight, and this will help you read your warrants. Hold on.
So uncomfortable.
You want me to hold up?
Well, yeah, this is a commercial, man.
Easy reader. That's it.
Easy reader. Do you have one?
It's the best way.
Brought to you by Eyeball Society. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get screened.
Okay.
If you have a family history, you may need to get screened earlier. Okay, thanks for not changing the station. You've actually just thought about colonoscopies for a solid minute. The worst part is over. Now that you have the facts, take charge of your health.
That's that.
To schedule
Smoke a bowl.
screening
Give me
today,
that.
visit StopColonCancerNow.com.
When you need them, your local volunteer fire department routinely answers the call. Whether it be a fire, traffic accident, or a cat stuck in a tree, there is always someone there for you. However, because of declines in memberships, departments are becoming understaffed and struggling. Here's how you can help your neighbors and your community. No matter what skills you may possess, you can make a difference. Your local volunteer fire department desperately needs your help. Can you direct traffic, install a smoke alarm, help at fundraisers? Your community needs you. You don't have to fight fire to be a volunteer. Will you make that difference? Will you answer the call? Brought to you by the National Volunteer Firefighter Recruitment Center, a program service of the Volunteer Firefighter Alliance. For more information on how you can help and make a difference, visit www.nvfrc.org. That's www.nvfrc.org.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
You're live.
Okay, well, this has certainly been an enlightening and encouraging, to be honest with you, Todd, couple of hours here. Todd Crandall is our special guest. He's the county council member from the Dundalk, Greater Dundalk area, the 7th District. And in my book, he's quite a hero. Now, Todd, if people want to get in touch with you and support you or back up what you're trying to do, is there any way that they...
Sure, call our office. 410-887-3383.
Hold on, buddy.
Certainly free to express yourself in that forum. Emails are always good because we build, when we deal with issues like this, we build folders and we keep track of support, opposition. And sometimes it's very useful to be up on that dais in council chambers, or actually sitting by my computer screen at this point. It's been helpful to say, listen, this is what this citizen said. This is what group supports this. What community association supports this. And thankfully, on the council, a lot of our issues are land use decisions. This is where our greatest authority lies. And we don't get thrown in often in national issues, and so unfortunately we got thrown into this one because of things that our police department should not be cast at. But email is council7, the numeral 7, council7 at baltimorecounty.md.gov, and you can contact using that address. You can contact every council member 1 through 6 using the same system, council1 at baltimorecounty.md.gov, and so on.
Well, I gotta say this.
He's got to say it.
I served 20 years in the General Assembly, and 4 of those years I was on the Judiciary Committee. And I just seen.
And he makes the best license plate in the whole world.
In our state. Things changing. And I was a Democrat when I started out. But believe it or not, we only had 14 Republicans in the Maryland General Assembly when I was a Democrat. And now we have, I think, 40. We had 50. We lost some. But the nature of the beast changed, Todd. You know, you think about, if I had a chance to talk to Joe Biden, person
the nature
of the
beast.
Mr. Vice President, here's what I don't understand. You've been in a position of power and authority in the Democrat Party for 47 years. Not so
the nature
when you were in your
of
20s,
the beast.
You were a United
Thank
States
you.
Senator.
That was brought to you by K9 and I.
During the 70s and 80s, you were the chairman of a powerful committee. You've been in Washington for 47 years. You know everything there is to know about this country. You know everything there is to know about this Constitution. You know everything to know about the exceptionalism and the greatness of this country. You served as Vice President of the United States for 8 years. You traveled almost every country in the world. You're one of the few people that were in a position that could compare other countries to this country, and you had insider information as to what these other countries were doing.
I try to tell people.
47 years. You used to march.
Everything I do here, I got trouble for in school, and they pay me for it.
United States Senator.
Where'd that sound come from? Who's making this up now?
Smile and wave the American flag. And what have you accomplished now that you're in the twilight of your life and your career as Mr. President?
Yep.
You are ready to turn over the party of John Kennedy, Harry Truman, and to be honest, a more moderate Bill Clinton, to radical nutcases who hate
Can I help you?
and want to destroy it.
All right, hold on. Security.
10 years ago, Bernie Sanders was considered a kook on the fringe of the Democrat Party, wasn't even a Democrat, and now he is in charge of your manifesto. Sir, I gotta ask, how can you live with yourself? I know you have grandchildren. How can you live with yourself? Is this what you've accomplished in half a century? To destroy the Democrat Party and turn it into a radical
the cone of silence, man. The cone of
mob?
silence.
Is that what you are you proud of that?
That's my friend Notes. He's a war
That's
veteran.
what I was But let us talk to Will, my friend Will.
Go ahead, Will.
Will, good evening.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, buddy.
Just contributed $20 to Super Citizen while I was waiting, in the last half hour. But anyway, I'm listening. I'm streaming Donald Trump's rally tonight, and I look at the clock. Oh my God, Pat McDonough's on, so I turn it on at 8 o'clock.
I'm a lot better than Donald Trump, that's for sure.
So we're only talking about Baltimore County tonight for the first. So I turned the show off. I turned your show off. No offense. And I put it back on Donald Trump. And I said, well, it opened up the second hour like he always does. I turned it back. Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. I put it back on your show, and you're still beating this dead horse with Baltimore County. No offense, but Baltimore County had their chance. They screwed you and the citizens, and I don't even think the election was fair and all. But That horse has already left the barn.
guy's a good guy.
And we're getting ready to lose our country in 40 days. They're rigging this election and all, and they're doing the same kind of crooked stuff Johnny O's doing, is doing the same thing in Anne Arundel County. So
Right.
we got a lot of problems. But
Well, here's the interesting part about that, Will. Donald Trump has picked up on what the radical left and the mob and the Destroy America crowd is trying to do. They are getting into the counties. They're getting into...
Say something different. Say the idiot.
And the state of Maryland,
Antifa
they already control and own Prince George's, Montgomery, Howard. They're getting in the they want Baltimore County. We are ground zero. They want us.
Well, I know, but I don't even believe for a second that Johnny O won the election. That state senator was winning that election, and then the very next day, oh well, it's tied up. It's kind of like the election in Baltimore City. There's Sheila DeShoe.
Don't tell me Al Gore won.
Well, no, Sheila DeShoe was winning that election. Then all of a sudden,
Sheila
Brandon Scott was winning the
DeShoe.
election, and that's so.
Oh my gosh.
Any of that, but
And
Baltimore
he's like
County,
Joey 2 times, He says the same thing 2 times. Says it 2 times.
Super Citizen. I want to see Super Citizen move forward. And on this show, no offense to your guest is fine, Robert Birch, but we need to open your show up and talk about the whole state, and we especially at this time, we need to talk about we got a major election for the presidency going on in 40 days, and now with this the election, whoever gets appointed on that
2 minutes,
Supreme Court, that's who's going to determine the election. So we got major problems on. I just think you need to open up the show. I think you need to talk about Super Citizen more. I'm not trying to ruin your show. I think we need to.
We're doing a hell of a good job of it.
Forward.
Well, let me intercede here. I'll tell you, tomorrow Super Citizen's going to be on television. Do you want to talk about it, Pat?
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah, tomorrow Super Citizen's on TV at 10 a.m. on Verizon, on Comcast, on
Direct
it's on
TV.
everything. So
And
Super
Disney Channel.
Citizen TV. Well, we're going to take your advice, and we are going to be working on that.
I hated to burn up my call. Maybe I can get a full call. Maybe I can get some time.
Well, you can call. You can call.
I want to move.
You could call Dr. Tom. I'm sure he's looking forward to
Oh, look at that.
I want to move Super Citizen forward. That's our hope. That's what we need to do. No offense to your guest and all.
All right, thank you, Will. Take care. Todd Crandall, I got to tell you, despite what my friend Will said, it all starts at the local level. That's where we got to win the battle. I got to tell you, I think the radical left already controls this country at the national level. We have to win battles in Baltimore County.
30 seconds.
We have to win battles in places like that. So, Todd Crandall, you are standing up to 6, and this county executive. God bless you. Really, God bless you. Always remember, truth and knowledge guarantee liberty. Keep the faith, keep punching.
Stay connected with stimulating talk and breaking news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM, Baltimore, and WCBM.com.
The president will nominate a woman to the vacant Supreme Court seat. I'm Salji Imbrasso, Fox News.
Have a nice day.
Not only will President
And I'll
Trump
see you
go
next
ahead
week.
with the nominee for the U.S. Supreme
Bring the
Court,
cannoli.
something Democrats staunchly oppose, but he says it'll be a